The winning ways continue for Washington beginning 2023 with Kyle Kuzma on a triple-double watch. 13 boards, 11 dimes, and oh, by the way, the 10 points necessary, including that sky hook right there. That's the way you get it done. 118-95, the final score for Milwaukee. We will be seeing this team just 2 days from now on Tuesday, but it's Wes Hall joined by Jason Smith, Chris Miller, Drew Gooden, and Megan McPeak coming up in a moment. Sticks, I'm glad you're here. I told you you're a good luck charm. It's a great
way to start the new year, I'll tell you that.
That's what I was going to say, my friend. So, by all means, regale the people with your thoughts of the 48 minutes that we just watched.
You know, I thought they took care of business. They got the party started early and often, and they did not look back. They had a little bit of a lull there in the second quarter, maybe third quarter, but they kept that lead right around 18 points, finished the game out as they should have, because no Giannis, no Drew Holiday, no Chris Middleton. This was a game that could have been a trap game because you didn't know who was going to be out there. But I thought the Wizards continued to attack the paint. They had 72 paint points. They were getting into the paint. They were making sure that they weren't settling for jumpers, and that's the recipe for a win right there.
I find these things that so intriguing beyond just a win tonight. Kyle Kuzma gets the second triple-double of his career. Daniel Gafford started the game off with the first 8 points. Like, talk about dominance, just immediate, let's keep this thing going after they had the big win over Orlando. Denny Avdia, his 5th double-double of the season, by the way, doing that coming off the bench. And as I mentioned, coming into it, DeLon Wright putting up his 3,000th career doing it in a Wizards uniform. Which of these performances individually do you find to be the most impressive so
You
far?
know, I like Kuzma because he got a triple-double. He was going out there. He was struggling a little bit with his shot, but he got activated in other ways. He was getting his teammates involved. And something like that can kind of trickle-down effect because you have your shot not following, you get kind of discouraged, you're going against guys you're not really used to going against, but for him, he kept plugging away. He got a triple-double, his 2nd of his career. Something to hang your hat on because come 2 days later, you're going to have a completely different Bucks team, and you got to be ready for that because this was a game that you were guaranteed, if not supposed to win, but any team can come out there and show you a different picture. So I think this team, the Milwaukee Bucks team, they're going to have some different players out there, and you got to be ready come Wednesday.
It's something you talked about before. We talked about how the guys were saying they were kind of playing with their food against Orlando, and we were even talking about when we were watching the game, like, you could feel the energy was different tonight. Like, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I loved about it. And it just seems surprising as we bring in Chris and Drew that you would think Kyle Kuzma's had more than 2 career triple-doubles the way that he plays. But again, his second one tonight. Drew, impressive performance from him and the entire crew tonight. Am I right?
You know what? He strategically had that triple-double, too, because he did not take a shot up until maybe the 2-minute, 3-minute mark left in the first quarter where he had 5 assists already. So I think he already knew, if anybody knew, that he was on triple-double alert, it was him. And I think he did a great job getting his teammates involved early on. And then after that, it was like a trickle-down effect. Gafford started getting some dunks. Porzingis started getting acclimated. Denny Avdia, Monte Morris. I mean, Rui Hachimura came off the bench and was fabulous, fantastic. And the absence of Bradley Beal picking up and seeing who's going to be that third 20-plus point scorer on this team. And I tell you what, collectively, they just dismantled this team in that first quarter. They took care of their business early on, set the tone. They are learning. I feel like they've learned from their mistakes in 2022, beginning of the season, and into this new year, they have a whole new mindset.
There's some carryover from Orlando. Every excuse known to man about playing down to the level of competition. I've heard that 16 years covering this team. So much so that it makes me sick when I hear it. Now I'm sick because I said it. You don't play down to your level of competition. You go out if you're a good team and you beat the teams you're supposed to beat. So if Milwaukee was going to be shorthanded tonight, I love the fact that Washington in the first 12 minutes outscored them 34-17. And what was more impressive is really the person that really started all this tonight. It was Daniel Gafford. I thought he was assertive, and Drew said it during the broadcast. Robin Lopez couldn't even get off his feet because every time he turned around, Gafford was at the rim. So you talk about Porzingis, Kuzma's triple-double, Denny. Rui Hachimura was the best player on the floor, in my opinion, today, guys, the way he came out and scored and how he was active. So Washington did the things that they were supposed to do, like they did to end 2022 when they beat Orlando. Now I expect to see on Tuesday, if Milwaukee is full and whole and they have Giannis and Middleton and Holiday and all those guys, I want to see the Wizards come out and give this same type of effort.
All right, with that in mind, Drew, what's one of the things that they're going to have to focus on improving? Because there is no perfect game. So what do the Wizards have to get locked down before they see that gamut of players on Tuesday?
You know what? Honestly, mentally, they're going to have to erase this game out of their memory bank. Like, this never happened. Because they're almost going to have to pretend coming into the second game on Tuesday like they haven't seen this team yet this season. That didn't just happen. To keep their confidence and also to keep them on high alert, because when you let your guard down, bad things could happen. But if Giannis is going to be back in that lineup, I think it's actually going to be better for the Wizards mentally to focus and prepare and know that they need to handle their business, knowing that they're up 1 in this 2-game series, Sam.
Yeah, they're going to see him 3 more times. They'll see him again on Tuesday, and then the series will shift to D.C. to wrap it out in the regular season. But, guys, I'm kind of giddy. I like seeing this team the way that they're playing right now. You know, when you win 5 in a row and some of the teams that they've beaten, they've done it at home. They've also done it on the road. So stuff like this is traveling. They're taking their defense on the road. Again, you hold this Milwaukee team to 17 points in that first quarter, you were setting a standard. And I like what I heard there from the Wizards assistant coach, Zach Guthrie, about we have a standard on how we do things here.
No, yeah, I completely agree. And for the Wizards, they, like you said, Drew, they need to kind of flush the toilet on this one, because this wasn't the true Milwaukee Bucks team. This was the team that you kind of really didn't know what they were going to give you. Kind of discombobulated a lot of the time on offense, but I think the Wizards handled themselves well. They attacked in transition. I would say the one thing that they really need to shore up is the offensive rebounds and second chance possessions, because if you don't get that rebound, you're giving that team extra possessions, and that's one thing that they really need to shore up heading into Tuesday.
You like that box out for him?
I like that. I saw what I didn't know if you were doing a bench press, if you were boxing out, you're stretching, your back's a little sore. I don't know.
Sticks, I knew you were going to go to that point about the rebounding differential, but they cleaned that up. The first half, it was out of control. 11 offensive rebounds, equating to 16 second chance points. Second half, it was none of that. 3 or 4 offensive rebounds and 2 second chance points. So they did a phenomenal job fixing what they could fix.
That's what it's all about, gentlemen, doing what you can do. And I'm just glad that we started off the year the same way we ended last year. Keep this same energy as we move forward. Drew and Chris, I'll see you on Tuesday in what city? Oh, yeah, Milwaukee.
They ain't moving anywhere.
Can the big fella go eat now? His stomach was growling the whole game. I'm surprised you didn't hear it during the broadcast.
You see my smile without talking?
He's like, I'm ready to go.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate it as always. We'll see you Tuesday night. Sticks, something I do want to talk about. There's a couple questions I have about the big guys, but let's talk about Rui for a second, if you don't mind. Past 2 games, I'm going to give you the number. 56 points in the past 2 games, coming off the bench. Suffice it to say, I think he's a problem for other teams.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't matter if he's starting or if he's coming off the bench. He's looking to score. He's aggressive on the offensive end. He can knock down a 3 from a dribble penetration off Kuzma. He can go out there and get in the paint. He uses his body well in the mid-post, but he's feeling that confidence. And you're kind of worried about him because he had such a lengthy absence due to that ankle, but he's coming out there with a point to prove to everybody, hey, I am a part of this team. This is what I do. I go out there, I score in a multitude of different ways, but I'm aggressive. I'm not going to be tentative. I'm not going to act like my ankle is kind of lingering. He's getting out there and he's being aggressive on the offensive end, and he's getting activated, especially on the defensive end. If he gets a steal, he's getting out in transition. He's running with the team. So it's really good to see him kind of help Porzingis, help Kuzma, especially in the absence of Brad.
And it's so interesting because he hit 3 for 5 from deep, but 11 from 18 from the field, and you see the numbers right here on the screen. Last 3 games for him have just been absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I'll take 16 points against Orlando, but look, 30 against Phoenix, 26 against the Bucks. It's a ton of points. It's a ton of productivity from a guy coming off the bench who missed a lot of games, as you said. But Sticks, when we were watching the game, the one thing that I kept noting, I was like, this dude is dangerous in the mid-range.
Oh my gosh, that's where he's most comfortable, because he gets into his little spin move and he may get cut off going to the rim, but you didn't stop him. He's got that opportunity to just rise up over people, and that's exactly where he feels comfortable. But also, he can space you out to 3, where he's gotten a little bit more arc on his jump shot. And also, if he's getting out in transition, he has that ability to finish and put you in a poster, too.
Yeah, nobody wants to get put on a poster. Nobody. Nobody wants a part of that. But I do love the energy. And again, he doesn't normally shoot the 3 a lot, but 3 for 5 today, something that hopefully can carry over on Tuesday. I want to bring in Megan McPeak, who's courtside in Milwaukee. Megan, your same thoughts for the night. What'd you think? What were you most impressed by in tonight's performance?
I think I was most impressed by the defensive side of things. Like, even in that second quarter, when Milwaukee started to make a run, they turned the defense up a notch. They obviously had some issues turning the ball over. We know that. We heard from Coach Guthrie at halftime that they wanted to clean a lot of things up. But it's the fact that even when a team punches back after you've punched them, you were able to then punch back again. So for me, it was the defensive intensity on that end of the floor in the second quarter, and then again in the third quarter, because that third quarter started and they put this Bucks team away and did not give them any life. So for me, it's got to be the defensive end tonight.
That's what it's all about, getting it started on defense. Defense convert to offense. Megan, do not move anywhere. We were just getting started, warmed up, breaking down this game. Happy and excited to start off 2023 with the Wizards win on the road, by the way.
Absolutely.
That's what we love, be able to do it no matter what environment we're in. But right now, here's head coach Wes Hall Jr. at the post-game podium.